Let's see if I can get this to stretch out. There we go. Okay, that works. Crybaby. Crybaby sounds good. Is it new? Huh. Why do you think these dudes signed me out? Does that happen a lot?
Never mind. I don't like that fucking song. That's like it's so trash. Oh my gosh.
Yeah, I wonder why it signed me out.
They just say, well, why did they leave and they can stop?
Ah, we had dang, how many of these PowerPoints did I have open? Whew, that's crazy. So Ashford, you guys have a book called Ashford. All right, here we go. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Because we are finishing with infancy, and then starting up again with this other stuff.
What's the point of the 3 laptops?
I film on one. Discord won't project on the little old one, and then like sometimes I have to find a file here to email it to this one to project it to film it.
That's too much.
It is.
You need to get you an iPad.
Yeah, it's just hard. Like
So with your, cause I got an iPad and a MacBook, you can like move
Send
your
it.
cursor on both sides.
how do we project on this screen though? Is what I want to know. Is that the got Miss Banks on there? So okay, yeah, we finished these last few. Dang it, that's it. Secure. Okay, attachment theory. We're doing a lot of attachment theory and that's what we finished on. Just like what babies. How many of you guys have nieces and nephews and babies? So how do they do their stuff? Like crazy?
Mm-hmm.
Like any of them doing stranger danger yet at 6 months or gaze separation anxiety? Like if
I
they're
can say separation anxiety.
okay. At 12 months, they look to strangers for cues.
He is in class.
What's that?
So we are in class. We're in class in first. Ain't nobody here.
I know, right?
So we're in class.
They got to watch it on the YouTube channel now.
What's the YouTube channel called? Because sometimes I really don't be familiar.
Dr. Trouth at Central State.
You said what's called?
Dr. Trouth at Central State. And then you sign in there. It is way better in person, I'll tell you, because like it's better for you guys just to get used to it. Social work is in person, so you did great. But I understand if you have something come up, you got to do it this way. It happens, doesn't it? Like life happens.
We're back.
That's fine. We were doing social and emotional cues of babies. So, do you have any babies where it's doing crying, stops crying at the parent's voice, and spontaneous smiles, reciprocal smiling, stranger anxiety? Was there enough snacks in there?
Oh yeah, we found some.
Are you sure?
Well, I grabbed caramel pieces. You know, a vending machine, do they take Apple Pay?
Pretzels?
The Apple Pay, I don't know. Does the
They
vending
should take
machine
Apple
take
Pay.
Apple
No,
Pay?
they say cash only on it.
But we have a food pantry in room 311.
Actually,
Go get some snacks.
hello.
Well, you guys got to see him. Is anything good left, or is it all gone?
There's pretzels. She leave.
There's
She
pretzels.
was still in there.
You want pretzels?
But she found stuff. See if we're.
Caramels, chocolate, bars, all of that stuff. So hopefully that'll work for you. Were any of you going to present your mental health stuff today? I feel like somebody wanted to, but he's showing up late, isn't he?
Were you talking about that guy that we're talking about?
Yeah,
Yeah,
because it's spring break, right? People are like, that'd give me 14 more days to do shit, and I don't have
Well, no, if it's due today, that don't give us no time, but.
Okay.
And I'm not time to prepare ourselves. Yes.
You want to watch somebody else do it?
Today? It's due today, but he
But
said
it actually due today.
You can present it later.
he just wants us to turn it in today.
What class makes you all the most nervous?
Mm,
What's the hardest class?
Capstone.
mine was critical thinking.
For psychology?
Yes.
What does that do?
What'd you say?
Who teaches that?
Perdomo.
Oh, isn't he teaching it Wednesdays at 1?
Monday, Wednesday.
Yeah. And then he does remote Friday. That's pretty funny. Does he have anybody doing it fully remote because they're out of town?
I don't think so. I'm not sure.
Ah, this is our presenter for today, see?
Yeah, you like that.
I am weak.
Why you got? I just can't.
There's not even a lot of people here, so.
Right.
Oh,
It is.
yeah. So hopefully we cut the
No,
class
I
short.
say just cancel us.
I don't say.
Oh,
I say.
I'm
I say do it till 3:00.
Just do
How
it
does
on
that
the bus.
3:10.
That's
3:10.
crazy.
Yeah, 3:15.
I ain't even ready.
I'm presenting right now. It's fine. You go whenever
We
you.
do it every day, on a day.
I know, it sucks. It does suck. But we're keeping this program alive and
Until
accredited
3:15. Until 3:15.
Would you get that shit over with?
because he's got it done. You would do awesome.
You got your
But take your
video?
time.
I do.
Yes, you know, it's only 4 of us. We just worry about getting out of class. We don't worry about the presentation necessarily. You can say whatever.
I do.
Is that all I have left? Is that about my iPhone or
All you really
something?
gotta do is read over.
It's red. I would hope that's not what you have
I
left.
think it is.
Well, Mr. 3 Computers, we need to clear up something.
So how do you do it?
Start deleting things.
I don't delete. I don't
That's your
ever delete.
problem. That's why you have no storage.
I can't delete.
Unless you buy more.
This says it has 125 out of 128, 124.7. Review downloaded videos?
We need to get more storage. I want some chips, but I don't know if I want them to the market.
I thought there was chips in there.
Not the type of chips I eat.
Where?
Oh, the
In our food pantry
food
room.
I'm about to go.
I'm about to
See?
clean the food pantry out because there's some things that shouldn't be in there.
Oh, is
What's
there?
in there?
Something expired in 2019.
Oh, which one?
Well,
Well, help us out. We can clear it out.
I can't remember what it was right now.
2019.
Yeah, it was like 2019.
What was it?
These expired next month though, so I grabbed them.
Those are good.
What is up?
Caramel. It's a freaking caramel.
What, it's like the naked caramel or?
It's caramel apple.
They're good as hell. It's just caramels. Those things are the bomb.
Mm-hmm.
Where the suckers go? Where did the candy?
They don't have those, but I would have grabbed them because they did.
Ooh, it smell like an apple.
Mm-hmm.
It's caramel apple, yeah. Do you have an easy child, slow to warm up, or difficult child yet?
How would I know?
It's the
It's
temperament.
not even been a month yet.
I know, but
She's
sometimes you
definitely
can
not
tell.
difficult though. I'll say she's easy.
Behavior inhibition, implications for adult functioning. It's important to have the right match from the environment for each temperament. So like if they are busy and want to walk around, you got to let them run around, walk around, do all that. So attachment theory is like one of the biggest ones they hone in on. So it's about like our moms and our dads, whoever you grew up with, whoever is like your most important adult in your life, whoever you called, mom, dad, grandma, grandpa. Who was it for you guys? Do you remember?
What?
Who was like the one you were most connected to growing up as a kid?
It was my big sister.
My grandma.
Okay. And big sister was older?
Yeah,
What
my
did you
grandma.
say? Who did we have?
Grandma.
Attachment to growing up?
Like your attachment, your strongest adult in your life.
Yeah, we argued a lot.
Right. Well, that's normal.
Because we got the same name. Well, we had the same name. She passed away. But we got the same name. And we had.
That's why you argue all the time?
She said, not your name.
That is funny as
It's
hell.
like alike. It's like,
Right.
I don't know. We just argue all the time.
So she'd be like, shut up. No, you shut up. No, you shut up.
No,
Okay.
no. we just
But she
have
knew you had the
different
same
opinions on
name.
stuff.
My parents are great parents. They've been around. They were always around, but it just, I don't know what it was about my older sister, but I always wanted to be around her.
How much older was she?
16 years older.
Oh.
That's why.
How old is she now?
So she was an adult, like
32.
all that you all remember.
Yes.
So you were
Anybody else need
She was,
these? Almond, cashew, the
I'll take one.
bars.
He was like 18 when I was born.
Are they anybody else need some?
That's
Almonds.
probably why.
These are actually good. I'm serious.
Them got them
You want one?
got the sweet bottom on it.
I
Yeah,
bet
the
it
sweet
does.
bottle. Yeah, they do sweet sauce. You should not be at a film festival.
Right?
Ridiculous.
Oh, I found no wonder why I was missing allergy pills. I'm like, I have a missed allergy pill and can't breathe. They're all in my bag.
Oh my god.
You gotta have them in your car when you're driving. You remember to take them. Okay.
That's funny. I have a whole bunch of insomnia pills that I didn't take because
Oh, the no-dos?
I
You
don't.
got no-dos?
They gave me. I don't know that, but I'm
Some
saying
drugs?
they gave it to me because I couldn't sleep, and I took it, and it had me sleep.
Oh, sleep pills. Okay. they're
16
for
hours
sleep.
straight. I never took another one.
That is crazy.
You sleep 16 hours.
16 hours straight. I said I needed to sleep a few hours. I slept 16 hours.
So is your sister 37 now?
No, she's 32.
32? So forming a strong emotional tie to a caregiver. Parents and child are biologically programmed to form a close bond.
I have a question.
Yes.
Right. Okay, so you know how like every mom gets postpartum distress, right? So if you don't already have it right now, when you get it, do you know what you're gonna do to like help cope with it?
I honestly, I did. It's up and down with me.
It
So
comes
I had
right
it bad
away.
The first like 2 weeks, I was crying. I don't care as much I can do about it. That's it. Yeah.
It can
And
come
my
right
mom, she
away.
would take me out to like do things, getting out the house though.
You breastfeed?
Yeah, well, breastfeeding is formula. Well, like something.
Okay, you're like what?
Yeah.
It can be a lot just doing everything that we need to do.
My bad.
Yeah, since getting up at night, I ain't gonna lie, I'm a sleeper. So getting up at night, I was like, oh my goodness, you
Yeah.
can't hold it off for a few more hours.
Yep.
So,
So they did some messed up tests a long time ago before they had a board of ethics, but I want to show you this one. It's called Strange Situation about the baby. And think if you did this to your kid when your kid is a strange situation. Strange situation video. Oh, of course, there's
she
not.
left early the other day. When she left, I got rained on that.
I got drenched.
I did too. I had Crocs on. My socks were soft.
Oh,
my
no.
ankles were so like
As soon as I got in my room, it started raining.
I'm just making sure we stay accredited, y'all.
Well, they won't know when we end the class.
Yeah, they're creepy like that.
They gonna
No,
be
it
like,
doesn't be like that because first of all, you filming the whole class live. That's how they be finding out.
yeah, you need to stop doing that.
Yeah, but what about those of you who have to show up?
And I just put them on YouTube.
But then he didn't even.
Can we do that? If we don't come to class, can we get on YouTube and do that?
You sign your name
Well,
on that.
people may
Correct.
experience
Oh, you'll
depression
never see me
differently.
here. I'm just
They
kidding.
all live with
It's better in person, just
I only
'cause-
have 2 classes today. There's no reason for me not to.
In 1969,
Here we
American
go.
psychologist Mary Ainsworth gave developmental psychology a new procedure for studying attachment in
these poor babies. I'll just say that. So guess what she did to these babies?
infants. She called it the strange situation classification, and it's widely referred to as simply the
Hello.
strange situation. As an adult, you know when you've formed an attachment with someone. You know how
So it does affect relationships later on in life. So that's what's interesting. Like our childhood bringing up as a kid will affect our attachment, or if you got like a super needy, or if you yourself are super needy, boyfriend or girlfriend. So this is where it comes from.
Feelings, and you know how to express your feelings in words. However, when it comes to babies and young children, they haven't yet developed these skills, and therefore researchers must turn to more subtle techniques,
That's a bold ass baby.
such as the strange situation,
That's like
which
mine.
measures the security of an attachment in 1 to 2 year olds. A 20-minute participatory observation, during which the researcher observed.
What's that?
I said she's so happy for that piece of paper.
Well, they love playing with crinkly noises. They love it. They're like,
The infant's behavioral responses to a series of scenarios.
They love
Ainsworth's strange situation includes 8 stages, each lasting roughly 3 minutes.
it's a long time.
To start with, the mother, baby, and researcher are all together in the room, a small, neutrally coloured space with some toys for the baby to play with. The experimenter leaves after around a minute, and the mother and baby are alone for approximately 3 minutes. In this stage, researchers are watching to see whether the child is confident to explore the new environment, or whether she stays close to the mother. A stranger joins the mother and baby in the room. The researchers record the baby's response to this unfamiliar newcomer, who is left alone with the baby when the mother leaves the room. At this stage, the researchers are observing the baby's behavior for signs of separation anxiety. 3 minutes later, the mother returns, and the researchers observe for the baby's reunion response. The stranger leaves the room. A few minutes more, and the mother leaves the room too, leaving the baby alone for the first time in the experiment. The next person to enter the room is the stranger. And finally, after 3 minutes, the mother returns and the stranger leaves. All in all, a perfectly strange situation for all involved. So, what were the researchers measuring? When the mother was in the room with the baby, they scored the infant's behavior on 4 measures: proximity and contact seeking, contact maintaining, avoidance of proximity and contact, and resistance to contact and comforting. The baby's exploratory behaviors were also recorded as she explored the environment. Ainsworth reported that infants display one of 3 attachment types. Securely attached infants showed distress when separated from their mother, were avoidant of the stranger when alone, but friendly in the presence of their mother, and were happy when the mother returned from outside the room. 70% of children studied fell into this category. 15% of children demonstrated an ambivalent attachment with their mother. These children showed intense distress when the mother left the room and demonstrated a significant fear of the stranger. When the mother returned to the room, ambivalent children approached the mother but rejected contact. Ainsworth reported that a final 15% had an avoidant attachment style. Such infants show no interest when the mother leaves the room and play happily with the stranger. When the mother returns, avoidant children barely seem to notice. In 1990, Main and Solomon added that a very small percentage were inconsistent in their behaviors and defined this attachment style as disorganized. Ainsworth's caregiver sensitivity hypothesis suggests that differences in infants' attachment styles are dependent on the mother's behavior towards the baby during a critical period of development. If you enjoyed this video, please click the like button.
So how would you all have reacted, you think, growing up if you had that happen to you?
I would be devastated.
You think?
I think I would be a big crybaby.
So you're the 70% that had the secure attachment to your mom or whoever your caregiver was.
Yeah.
Mom, dad,
Yeah.
grandma, and grandpa. Yeah. So if she left and some stranger came in, I guess they have them come in together first to show that the mom trusts them, like here's some random dude just like showing up, and then the stranger leaves. You would have hid behind something? Okay. Right. So you had the secure attachment to the mom. And then when she comes back, you would be excited. There's some that showed no. There's 15% that didn't really care either way.
Yeah, I think I was like that because I used to say hi to everybody.
Really? Okay. Okay. And it does have implications for like future relationships. That's the interesting thing.
It
Like,
has to be done at a certain age, though, right? 'Cause at a certain point, if you're referring to like reading somebody, if you're remembering it like past 5, it's not as relevant as like what age is this?
this is usually like about 2.
2, yeah. Because at a certain point, if you grow out of that, you are more like right, you are more engaged with strangers, you are more curious in a sense. But that age bracket was important, right? When they did it.
Yeah, so easier when a baby is responsive to adult because it creates a positive feedback loop. Okay, it's the next one. I'm sorry. So secure attachment, using the mother as a secure base when playing. Insecure is do not use mother as a secure base or they're indifferent. And then insecure, anxious is like clingy and reluctant to explore or angry at mother. Nice. She's trying to slam you into that. So yeah, those are kind of a lot of the theories. But I also show you guys the still face one where the person
Oh yeah, the mom just doesn't make a face at all.
yeah.
Yeah, we should be last.
So that's some of the tests. Some of the stuff they did for tests in the 60s and 70s might not pass ethics exams or like the IRB, the ethics nowadays, just because that's when it came up was like the 60s where they added the IRB and had things like that. So, any questions about attachment and what you think it would do to your relationships nowadays with trusting people and like becoming attached to people or knowing love or showing love or being open to love, you know what I mean?
Yeah. Regarding which.
Well, just attaching in general. Like if you don't have the secure attachment, that's when they're saying some of the things come up, like it would be,
Yeah. But obviously, I would hope that anybody has secure attachment. Other than that,
What I can think about what you're getting at too is that the connection that's so important to understanding these is that in order to have a healthy relationship between 2 variables, right, of you and your partner, you have to have some equilibrium on how to conduct yourself, right? You have to know this is appropriate, this is inappropriate behavior, and if you don't have that which we're assuming the secure attachment is the best, if you don't have those things, then the inconsistency between the relationship is going to cause all kinds of tension and negative. You're not going to be able to understand each other.
like fighting even. We're like,
Yeah.
why'd you go out with them this weekend? Why didn't you go with me? Or like ability to let them fly. So here's another video on attachment. I like this one. It does get
For skin so hydrated,
into
it's bouncy. Billy
relationships.
Body Wash. Available at Walmart.
And it talks about different ages
Attention vault dwellers.
that the attachments occur and see if you see these in your relationships today.
The attachment theory argues that a strong emotional and physical bond to one primary caregiver in our first years of life is critical to our development. If our bonding is strong and we are securely attached, then we feel safe to explore the world. We know that there is always that safe base, which we can return to anytime. If our bond is weak, we feel insecurely attached. We are afraid to leave or explore a rather scary-looking world because we are not sure if we can return. People who are securely attached are said to have greater trust, can connect to others, and as a result, are more successful in life. Insecurely attached people tend to mistrust others, lack social skills, and have problems forming relationships. There is one type of secure attachment, and there are 3 types of insecure attachments: anxious ambivalent, anxious avoidant, and anxious disorganized. In responses to distress, the first 3 react organized, while the last acts disorganized. To understand the theory better, let's look at Mr. and Mrs. Smith.
You think the disorganized one could be autism also, where it's just like,
He's on the spectrum, maybe, yeah.
I don't give a fuck if you're here or not. Like,
Yeah, that's a good point.
Partially
That's
so.
the underpinning of autism, right? It's the ability to not
We
focus on
have 4 children, Luca, Anne,
sorry.
Joe, and Amy.
I'm
The
hungry.
Smiths are lovely parents who cuddle, make frequent eye contact, speak warmly, and are always there for their
I have
kids.
4 kids.
But one day, Mr. Smith falls very sick and dies. For Mrs. Smith, life now becomes very difficult. She spends all day working, while at the same time trying to care for her children. An impossible task. At 6 years of age, Luca's brain is for the most part developed, his character strong and his worldview shaped. The new situation does not affect him much. He knows there is still always Mum, his safe haven. He feels securely attached. Later, he turns into a trusting and optimistic young man. His self-image is positive. Anne, who is 3, has problems coping with the new lack of attention. To Anne, her mother now acts unpredictably. She is anxious about their relationship and as a result becomes clingy. To get her mum's attention, she has to raise her emotional state and scream. When her mum finally reacts with a predictable response, she herself acts ambivalent and doesn't show her true feelings. Later in life, others think Anne is unpredictable or moody. Her self-image is less positive. Her attachment style is anxious ambivalent. 2-year-old Joe spends his days with his uncle, who loves him, but thinks that a good education means being strict. If little Joe shows too much emotion or is too loud, his uncle gets angry and sometimes punitive. This scares Joe. He learns that to avoid fear, he has to avoid showing his feelings, also in other situations. As an adult, he continues this strategy and has problems entering relationships. His image of himself is rather negative. His attachment is anxious avoidant. Amy, who is just 1 year old, gets sent to a nursery. The staff there is poorly trained, overworked, and often very stressed. Some are outright abusive. Amy therefore becomes anxious of the very people she seeks security from, a conflict which totally disorganizes her ideas about love and safety. As she is experiencing fear without resolution, she tries to avoid all social situations. As an adult, she thinks of herself as unworthy of love. Her self-image is very negative. Her attachment is anxious, disorganized. Our attachment is formed in the very first years of our lives, a time when we are too young to communicate our anxiety, and as a result, can experience high levels of stress. Then our adrenal gland, an organ sitting on top of our kidneys, produces the stress hormones adrenaline and cortisol. The heart rate increases, the blood pressure goes up, and we become alert. If that happens frequently, it is called toxic stress. Toxic because it impairs the development of a child's brain and weakens the immune system. In embryos or at a very young age, toxic stress can even switch the expressions of genes, which can affect our health many decades later. By simulating a strange situation, we can assess an attachment style already by the age of 1. To do this, we let the child play with their mother for a few minutes inside a room. Then the child is left alone. The key moment is the child's reaction when her mother returns. Securely attached children first usually hug their mother, then can calm down and eventually get back to playing. Insecurely attached children can be ambivalent and avoidant. Some can't stop crying or refuse to continue playing. The long-term effects of our attachment in the early years are well documented. Using the theory, researchers at Minnesota University were able to predict already at age 3 if a child would drop out of high school with 77% accuracy. In another study, undergraduates at Harvard were asked to assess how close they felt to their parents. 35 years later, they were asked about their health. 91% of those who said they had a rather broken relationship with their mother were also diagnosed with health issues, including coronary artery disease, hypertension, and alcoholism. For those that had reported a warm relationship, the figure of poor health diagnosis was just 45%. But there is another reason why the early years deserve special attention. They are the starting place for subsequent behaviors. A kid that feels securely attached at age 2 can make friends at kindergarten. Their worldview gets reinforced with every interaction, and they develop optimism. As a result, they make good relationships at school, then at college, and later at work. Highly insecurely attached children can miss out on this opportunity. Psychologist John Bowlby, a pioneer in attachment theory, allegedly said, "What cannot be communicated to the mother cannot be communicated to the self." In other words, those who feel insecurely attached might not quite understand themselves. To get to know who they are and what they feel, they might have to go way back in time.
So I know that one's covering a whole lot of stuff that we're going over in here, but you see all the different areas it affects to have that secure attachment. And, also connecting to the genogram, family of origin, stuff in your family. If there's a lot of divorces, a lot of strife, sometimes that can continue on in relationships. Didn't Nikita say somebody told her she was pregnant and she said, "Did you tell your mom yet?" And she's like, "Nope."
Yeah.
And they just finished with, "What can't be communicated to the mother can't be communicated to the self," which was interesting. I don't know why that stood out on this one. That are we able to openly speak, or we're afraid they're going to be like, "What the hell are you doing? Why are you pregnant?" Or, something like that, which I got again, even this year, is they're like, "Dude, that's too many."
Yeah. Yeah.
But yeah, right. I know.
We're not even more kids. We have too many.
How many total?
What do you mean? No, I'm talking about in general.
You're saying overpopulation?
Yes.
Really?
Too many kids.
I know. They are trying to convince us of it, though. I feel like.
It's not real.
I feel like it is.
The data
What if you could get a country house? Yeah, I know. It is weird because there's so much data pushing that we are ruining the earth, overpopulated, and don't have enough of this, that, or the other to provide.
What's important to know, the data is not pushing that surveillance population. The data is being skewed and interpreted in a way to push that agenda. But the actual data of birth rate and how effective it is in supporting our future economy is real, and we need to increase it.
Mm.
So the data that we're talking about that's pushing, that's saying, oh, this proves that we may have less kids. If you look at the information, it doesn't correlate at all. It's just being there to support a different agenda. And that's important. Pop culture and news does not consider this. They don't consider truth. They consider what they want to spread.
Mm. Like the stuff that I went to a Jesuit college, and we were really kind of pushed on the different theories that may or may not have been totally true, but they were very convincing because our minds were moldable, fragile.
Even people who are educated can be convinced with this stuff. It's just,
Yeah.
when it comes to data and statistics, it's really easy. I could convince so many people, but if you look at my information, you'll see that there isn't a direct correlation between whatever I'm convincing you with, but you have to look at the data to do that. You have to be like, oh, so the overall population, how does that impact the actual future? Oh, it doesn't impact it the way that we think it does, but you can use those numbers to scare people.
Mm.
You'd be like, oh, look at these compared to last year, and that doesn't mean anything. It's like isolating one tiny part of the data and then blowing it out of proportion and saying, this explains it all.
Right. Yeah. Yeah. And I even see that. It was interesting how they had the 4 kids, and the oldest one had fully grown and attached to mom and seen that he would be okay. The middle one, I feel like I connected most with the third one. I'm pretty sure I had a secure attachment when they talked about if you do have a lot of kids at once, I wonder how that affects different attachments too. Because like you can only give me and my wife can only have. They always say you're like one-on-one with your kids at the first and the second. Then you got to play zone defense when you got 3,
Yeah.
and then you play zone defense at 4 and all the way up. And then I've also heard you don't give a damn after 3. Like you just treat them all the same, where it's just like whatever happens. There is I think a good example of that for myself this weekend is I'm pretty sure we would have freaked out if the dude going down the slide. Let me see if this was uploaded to the photos. I let him go down the slide the other day, and it was kind of funny because if that happened to our first kid, we would have like taken him into the doctor, and he was fine. He was totally fine. So it was just really funny to watch it because pretty much like his foot got caught. I want to see if I can find it because they were messing up the damn, where did I oh, do you guys go to convocation? Anybody go to convocation? Do they grade, like if you have class at that time, do they grade you on it?
There's no classes.
Really?
Yeah, they cancel classes too.
Yeah.
But my teacher didn't do that. It's great. But thank God somebody posted it in my group because I had to get 2 pictures of female speakers.
Oh, you did?
Oh,
Dude.
That's a way to get them to go.
I just took a screenshot of whatever they had on there. It was
I'm weak.
That's how they did it?
I was thinking some good sleep.
Right.
Yeah, I slept in. It was 11:40. I said, well,
So they like forced you.
Crazy long, a little too long.
yeah.
She didn't force me. I didn't have to go. I just wanted the extra 100 points.
Yeah.
Oh, here it is. So actually, it was good at first. Maybe this was the good one. We would have like rushed him to the emergency room. Because you like, so that was good. He was just chilling, rolling down. But then on the second round, his foot got caught.
Oh, you're foul.
And he got right back up and just was ready for more. He's like, "What's up?" I stopped filming. I felt so bad. I was like, "Oh shit, I'm gonna get in trouble." He was fine. He was fine. But for a minute, I was like, "Oh." So I like.
Your first kid, he's like, no.
Right. The first kid, we would have been very, very, very. Now they like throw sand in each other's eyes and like beat each other up. What?
It's good to get a little bit of that.
Right. Yeah. I think he was trying to cover him in the sand. Yes. That's messed up. Huh? Is it? How old are you going to be?
20.
You bringing in a cake?
No.
Damn it.
How?
It's gonna be on spring
I
break.
know, but like Tuesday.
It'll be on spring break.
I didn't say a cake. I didn't say a cake.
Today's my birthday.
A cake, not a cake. Bring us a cake, not a cake. It's a
I don't
bad
know.
joke.
It's an assignment now, right?
You said a cake, not a cake.
Right. Bring us a cake, not a
I
cake.
never ever. I don't even know what that is.
A keg is a 160-pound barrel full of beer.
And I don't even drink beer. Wow.
Right. Well, how old will you be?
That's dirt water.
Yeah, but in the old days, that was the only water you could drink without getting the poops. That's why they said
Yeah.
back on the wagon, because they would ferment and it would kill all the bad stuff in like water. So beer and wine was fermented and like the alcohol would kill the bad stuff that would make you crap your pants and die. So you guys got your attachment theory. There's quite a bit of research on it. You can start doing that at age 1 or 2.
Another question.
Yeah.
I don't know if you don't have arthritis or not.
You usually
Or what's that other thing in your hand?
Carpal tunnel.
That
Do you do a lot of gaming?
no, I crack my fingers a lot.
You don't sit and like type and do stuff a lot like this? Your wrists.
it's like repetitive motions usually, like lifting.
Oh, that's
Usually feel it because it's like a muscle up here, but usually feel it in the back of your hand.
You make 30 slides.
I only got 4 left.
4.
You see that? 28 out of 32. How'd you know it was 30?
Well,
You see that we're on.
No, I didn't. I knew that if you scroll down a little bit, you would hit that slide, but that's not enough to cover the rest.
You're like, can you just finish this shit? I gotta go.
Listen, because I know we're not getting out by 15, so I'm just.
All right. So self-awareness, sense of self as object by 1.5 years. Your baby in 1 year and a few months will have self-awareness. Active sense of self by birth. Tasked to develop a sense of self as separate from others. Mailer's process of separation, individuation. Implications for personality assessment and practice. So like, you can tell your baby's personality super young.
Yeah.
Like if they're going to be outgoing or if they're going to be shy or, all the different things that you can just start sensing very quick and young and early. Do you think yours will be?
I think I'll go.
You got to go.
No, I said I'll go.
Outgoing. You think you're the outgoing. Okay. So it's because it's almost your birthday. You're getting old, right? You're like, I'm old. How many of you are 20 of those? That is the peak of all of your senses.
Y'all all old.
You're hearing, you're seeing. That's like the peak. That's the pinnacle. You're at your best. Yeah. You're 20? Are you all 20? So like 19, 20, you peak out and then it's all downhill.
I feel like your 20s is fun. It's like-
Right. Yeah.
Everybody here 20 or older?
I'm 22.
Like I got the first notification. Do you guys get this if your headphones are too high? Does that?
Yeah, like they
I
can
get
listen
that
to
because
it.
my
somewhere.
speaker too loud.
So like, what's up with that? Because my headphones suck, so I do have to turn them up. One of them I have to like angle it a certain way to hear it, but it's saying I'm going to go deaf from it. Is that for real?
It's not
I don't
taking
think
into
you
account
will.
actually the speaker,
I
it's
don't
only
think
taking
you
into
will.
account an average rate of like
Volume?
1%. Yeah.
Okay.
So it depends on the actual speakers you put in your ears, of course. If it's not that loud, then you can assess that yourself.
7-day limit exceeded, it says.
And
Or maybe I'm
it would
deaf
have to
as
have-
hell.
It would have to have a sensor that sensed the actual speaker output of every individual headphone plug-in or connected, which it can't do, so it's not possible.
I got 3 hours of sleep. That's pretty common.
Was that your tracker?
I have a question.
Yes.
Are these presentations really good?
So turn in if anyone would like to present today, you're more than welcome to go first. If you want to wait till after spring break to present it, please do.
Please do.
Does that answer your
You
question?
just have to pick a date today.
Right.
You had to pick a date today, that's all. Just pick the day that you want to do it today.
Yeah.
Right, but it got you working on it, right? It got you working on it, thinking about it, right?
Is my brother over here still presenting today?
Shoot, we only have 2 days.
Listen,
Whatever.
You gotta throw it out.
Let's
you
all
can say
raise our
yes,
hand
you
and
can
say
say
it's gonna
no.
be one day.
We can go for 3 to 4 days. Who all wants to go Tuesday after spring break? Who all wants to
I'll
go?
go Tuesday.
Okay.
Me or y'all not going to?
Anyone today?
Rock it over.
Yeah, go for it.
He said he gonna get it over with.
Get over it.
Yeah, can you plug in like there? Is that-
Okay.
I just wanted to-
You said Wednesday?
Thursday.
Are you being for real? You're seeing if I'm paying attention?
I really don't know.
I know that, and that's partly why I'm encouraging it heavily, because you are all awesome, and as social workers, you will. Oh, you always got to be able to just like
Oh, I
articulate,
thought we were leaving.
right?
No, we got one presentation, then we could go.
You tried to screen up, I was about to get up.
I know, but you want to give this gentleman your
Yes,
full.
well, and do
He try to keep us as long as he can, because he recording this. Dude, my
Wow.
promise the class only 6 minutes long.
Yeah, when CSWE says, well, that's why I also face it this way. So if
Amen, so we leave out, you talk right there.
they're not like, so do your students even come to class?
We do. We just don't stay for long. We just don't stay.
No,
for
he
long.
ain't make one yet, but he needs to.
What happened?
I could use one.
Sign up sheet, you can go ahead, go ahead.
Oh, so basically my mental disorder that I wanted to look up on was ADHD. I know a lot of family members that have it. I have it actually, and I felt like that was something that I wanted to, look more further into. Understanding ADHD, the definition of it, ADHD is a neurodevelopmental disorder characterized by patterns of intent. Oh shit! Inattention, my bad. Inattention. I'm like, it was a dot on my screen. Inattention, hyperactivity, and impulsivity that interfere with daily functioning. It is typically diagnosed in childhood and can be continued into adulthood. Some symptoms and diagnosis: difficulty paying attention. Individuals with ADHD often struggle to focus on tasks and may become easily distracted. Uh, they may have difficulty organizing and completing tasks with frequent mistakes and careless mistakes. Uh, I'm just scrolling through some of it. It's not all that needs to be read. They may experience fidgeting, restlessness, and difficulty engaging to quiet activities. Let's go down here to diagnosis. No, we good. We good on that. If y'all want to read some of it, y'all can. Y'all can tell me if I need to go. But that's it. Everybody good?
Yeah.
Good.
Mhm.
Causes and risk factors. Basically, it's genetic factors. ADHD is believed to have a strong genetic component, with studies showing that it tends to run in families. So maybe if your mom has it, you might have it, or if your dad has it, you might have it. Uh, Environmental factors such as exposed to toxins during pregnancy, tobacco, smoking, alcohol, and led to early childhood may contribute to development of ADHD.
How did you make those slides?
How did I make them?
Google Slides.
I just,
You did this on Google Slides?
Yeah, it's pretty cool.
yeah.
I was saying, my shit don't never look like this.
You need to pick a background.
The templates.
Yours are all white.
No,
Oh,
when
I think
I go through mine, it'd be like something up here. It'd be like designer,
Oh.
and I just press it, and it showed me like a lot of things. That's how I got this one up there with the little girl. But I had to get the picture from Google, and it just typed it in. Risk factors. We're going down to risk factors. Premature birth, babies born with. Oh, it's not with. Yeah, prematurely are at a higher risk of developing ADHD compared to those born at full term. If y'all want to read some more, y'all can tell me when to go. Y'all good? All right, let's scroll down.
She wants you to full screen it so she can read it.
Oh, full screen? I was like, my bad. We have 4. Treatment and options. As such as it is medication for it, which I don't feel like you should take it because I feel like it make you brain dead. But
Exactly.
They
Medication.
pushed it on me forever. I
But-
pushed 3 years of meds on it.
it is medication for it. There's medication such as stimulants and non-stimulants that can help manage ADHD. Stimulants may include Ritalin or Advil, or I think Adderall. My bad, Advil or Adderall. It's Advil too, which I don't know how that helps, but it's Advil and Adderall. Can improve the focus and reduce hyperactivity. Behavior. There's behavior therapy. Behavioral therapy can provide strategies for managing behavior and improving academic performance. So there is that. I do that.
Does that actually work?
It do sometimes.
Meditation or.
Sometimes I just hate that I'd be in there for hours and we just be talking about the same questions over and over again, and it just gets on my nerves. Academic interventions. Academic interventions can help support individual ADHD in academic settings. So basically, like us being social workers, they can take us in and maybe provide accommodations. Which, if you look down at the bottom, these interventions may include extended time periods for tests, per better seating, and modified assignments for us. Some programs include IEP. I think we have that here. I don't know. I think that's in the student center. And then I don't know what a 504 plan is, but that can also help. I never knew what that
I
was.
think that's the, like, when you you're in school, you can like have extra time on tests and stuff. Don't we have that here?
I thought that was IEP though.
That's how you.
What I don't know what a 504 plan is, or 504.
It is like the IEP. They're
There's
very
another version
similar.
of it.
Yeah, individualized.
Because I was trying to look it up, it didn't tell me.
It's like the law. That's where the law comes from, like the code 504, and then they enforce it.
I see, yeah.
That's Americans with Disabilities Act. So you've got to make accommodations. Like when I was in college, I had to get the dyslexia accommodations and ADHD accommodations.
Basically, this is like support and resources. You know, you can always go get a support group. They should have those at school that you're at or a job that you're enrolled in. Educational sources could be like online book, online courses, workshops, and like valuable information that is okay with you and okay for your brain to function, to provide like managing the functions of ADHD and improving daily functions. You have school and work accommodations. Like I said, they can give you work accommodations like longer times on papers or longer times on assignments that you are assigned, and to help you succeed and be flexible in your academic career. So I do have 2 videos, which is here, but they're already here. So this is not the one that I really wanted. So hold on, give me a second. We're gonna do this. So this is the first one.
Welcome to the Huberman Lab podcast, where we discuss science and science-based tools for everyday life.
Basically,
I'm Andrew Huberman, and I'm a professor of neurology and ophthalmology at Stanford School of Medicine.
And Star Wars.
Today we are going to talk all about attention deficit hyperactivity disorder, or ADHD.
We don't care about that. Okay, so right here you have him, doing math work or watching a math video. Right here you have him watching like Star Wars, and it just tells you about like what's really happening. So here, Star Wars is all the lightsabers and the lights and the flashes and things like that, and it keeps people with ADHD, keeps their mind active or like what's gonna happen next. With this math video, it's just long, boring, and like Mr. T said, you just hear wow, 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 wow going through it, and it's crazy. The other video I had was kinda long, so I didn't want to watch it, and I didn't want to make anybody else watch it. So I put into another slide. Hold on, let's end this. Let's go down. So signs you might have ADHD. You can just go through it with your head. Do you have problems starting projects? Is it hard to pay attention to detail? Are you easily distracted? Do you hyperfocus, which means do you just focus on one task and everything else around you just doesn't matter? Do you have bad time management? All that waking up all late. Are you disorganized? Are you forgetful? Are you impulsive, which do you just be chilling and don't let nothing bother you? And do you shut your brain off? So when you don't feel like doing something, do you just shut your brain off and sit there? And that's it.
So you need 5 of 9. Is that how they did it on that one? Probably?
Yeah, basically. Like it was a whole 8-minute video, and I'm not about to sit there for 8 minutes. So I just
So those are the things they'll ask when you diagnose, and they're similar to that. Like if you meet 5 of these 9 categories, you can be diagnosed with that. So
Isn't there a caveat to that even if 5 meet, it can't be caused or overlap significantly with another diagnosis too? Meaning you have to kind of compare that.
they do rule out other diagnoses.
Just to be sure that it's not just behavioral, it has something to do with the condition.
So good and big point, because when trauma and PTSD came out for kids in 2010, we had to change all of our diagnosis of ADHD for the kids, inner city Lighthouse Youth Services that had the signs of traumas are almost, and I have a full-on trauma training I can give you guys, but showing the overlap between ADHD and trauma. They're very similar.
Yeah.
So especially nowadays, we're like, holy shit, trauma, you have the same stuff as those, and if you treat the trauma, that could go away.
That's why I don't like the categorical approach, and I like the dimensional approach better because it treats the symptoms, which can be specific, and we can actually identify them versus trying to lump somebody under an umbrella.
Yes. Now, do we have any questions for you, or
I think you did a good job.
No, that was good.
That was great.
you think you deserve the best
That's
grade
good.
possible?
I think so.
I got it done early.
And he worked hard.
I got it done early.
He was trying to get done fast.
I was. I'm
Oh,
tired.
yeah, he's trying to get you out like 17 minutes early.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah,
we're
that
done.
because I'm not about to. I don't know if you want to see. You can. I can send you the video if you want to watch the 8-minute video.
It's on your phone.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You can send it to the whole class.
I know. I'm not about to send it to them
On
because I know
D2L.
I'm gonna send it to you.
They ain't got time for that shit.
Yeah, they ain't got time for that.
You can watch it.
Yeah, you can
He
watch
said,
it.
I
I
ain't
know
got
they
time
don't
for
want to
that.
watch it. You can watch it.
Y'all have a great one.
You too. Happy spring break.
Happy spring break.
This is a little crazy tight.
Amen.
I'll
Yes.
I'll
Be
message
good.
you. I'll, in the assignment I'll put on Tuesday.
You got a pen?
Okay.
Yeah.
Probably. That's the hardest thing to find. Anybody got a pen?
Yeah.
Anybody got a pen?
I think she got it.
Oh, she's even acknowledging you now.
I know she did nice. She said, she said hey to me.
Oh, see, you call her out now. She's acknowledging.
She said,
I like being called out. So now I'm
You know-
actually doing it.
she said hey to me in the lunchroom. I was like, damn.
You were like, wait, who? Did you like look past her, like behind you? You were like,
I'm not gonna lie, I didn't even see her when she came in with her friend until she waved. And then it wasn't like one of these. It was like she hit me with that.
are you from the Detroit?
I am from Detroit, actually.
He's from the Detroit. That's funny.
The Detroit is
That's
crazy.
not what I'm talking
Wow.
Like they wear blue, and in Cincinnati, Dayton, we wear red. We're the Reds, and you wear blue, and Detroit Tigers.
Yeah, I mean, yeah.
Bears.
Get out your seat.
Oh, that's right. Sweet. Look, it's all pink. I like that. Pink and green. Somebody said once, all of our problems are either pink or they're green. Have you heard that before?
I've never heard that exactly.
I think they're saying it is specifically sex and money. So all your problems